Oh yeah, I need that.
And go.
So about 2 years ago, I wrote a book called The Little Who Dat Who Did. It totally changed my life, right? And so I thought that if I could do the same thing with these kids in New Orleans, it might possibly change their lives as well, right? So I created a youth publishing program called Write. I started an Indiegogo campaign, raised money, did the program, the kids loved it, as you can see, everything was great. But I soon realized a problem, or I realized a couple of things after I finished my campaign, right? I realized that these platforms didn't necessarily do anything for me, okay? So 3 problems. 1, these sites didn't give me any exposure, right? They didn't help me promote my campaign. 2, I did all of the work. So even after I created my campaign, they told me the truth. They said, okay, now go out there, share it, go out there and pass it around, tell your friends. So I should know, right? So they didn't help me out, but they were still taking 5% of my money. I didn't like that. And 3, there are lots and lots of projects on these sites, right? Your project can easily be buried. And the people that come to these sites don't automatically have an organic connection with you and your project, right? They might like tech ideas, but if you don't have a tech idea, then they're not looking at you. So that's why we wanted to create what we call FundDat.com, okay? So FundDat.com is a reward-based crowdfunding platform similar to Indiegogo and Kickstarter that will only allow projects created inside New Orleans or created around the world by people who create projects about New Orleans, or for New Orleans, okay? So you can be in Zimbabwe, and if you want to teach people in New Orleans your native cooking techniques, your project can go up on our site, right? If it has anything to do with New Orleans, you can put it up there, and anybody around the world can fund that, okay? So what I also wanted to do, I realized the problem was these sites didn't do anything. So that's the problem. The solution is we want to do something. So that's our value add. So we want to take these projects on our sites and put them in front of the people who care about them the most. New Orleans, you, all of you, okay? And so we came up with 3 unique ways to do that, right? So in New Orleans, we all love New Orleans, we all want to support each other, and so we want to leverage our media campaigns, leverage our media partners like WWL, GoNola.com, NOLA.com, and we want them to give us a little bit of time and let us have a campaign of the week or a campaign of the day, right? Because we've learned that projects are more likely to be successful if they get some sort of media campaign. So if we can try to promise 50% or 60% of our projects will get some type of media exposure, that'll mean that more of our projects will be able to succeed, okay? Another thing we want to do is connect with what we consider our key partners. So the Arts Council, LouisianaEntertainment.gov, which is for films, and GNO, which helps businesses, we want to partner with these organizations because they already support who we want to work with, right? They already support the people with ideas and businesses and things. So we want to create the FundDat widget. So on the Arts Council's website, the FundDat widget will filter all arts projects that are receiving funding on our site. On GNO, all of the business products that are business products and projects that are receiving funding on our site will be filtered onto their website. We also want to create this localized feel, right? This entrepreneur week, this idea village, this propeller, this startup weekend feel, this community. And so what we want to do is create events similar to what we already have in this community, and our event is called Fun Fest. So once or twice a year, we're going to get all of the projects together, they'll be able to exhibit their stuff, and we're also going to get Harris or maybe Chris over here can give us some money, and we can give it away to the idea that gets the most votes, all right? So customer acquisition. So what we did is we went out and we talked to people. We asked them about if they knew about crowdfunding. It turns out that even inside this building with all these entrepreneurs, some of them didn't know what crowdfunding was. So to me, that might sound like a problem, but to me, that's actually a good thing because the industry has been doubling for the last 3 years, right? And so if the industry is growing at this expansive rate, it's not even a household name yet, that means we may still be able to be top of mind to some of the New Orleanians who want to create projects, okay? And so what we did is we found out that males between the ages of 18 and 35 who have college degrees are the average crowdfunding users. And so we found out that there are 58,000 of those people in the city already. Give me 1,000 of them, right? Our average, our college graduate average is above the national average, which is 29%. Okay, so we want to get those people on our site. Just give me 1,000 of them. We also, the people who are already members of Arts Council, the people who are members of GNO and things like that, we want to convert some of those people. They have ideas. We want to work with those people. Our model is similar to the industry standard, right? We get 5% with everything that they raise. We're going to keep our costs low by not creating a new platform, but by using a white label platform to keep costs low. We're also going to, come on, New Orleans, let's get behind it.
I like the idea that you're tapping into community, crowdfunding versus community. I like that. But you sound like you're doing more than your competitors. You're charging the same. Help me understand. You're doing PR, you're getting placement. How are you going to make money if these guys are not doing, by your own terms, doing nothing and taking funds?
So most of that is partnerships, right? So it's not like advertising. We're going to spend a little more time, but we don't have to actually pay WWL. We don't have to pay GNO Inc. That's why I call it.
You got to pay somebody to do
it. You're right. Yeah, you're right. So some ways that we have another revenue stream that we consider, which is creating a marketplace for where in New Orleans, where these people create these products, we can put them up there and we can sell that to the world. And so if you have a product that's super New Orleans type New Orleans, it's almost like filtering up our culture and selling it to the world. This is the sexiest city in the world. People around the world will want to purchase that. You come to New Orleans, you see something you like, maybe it's on FundDat.com. So that's just another way to bring in some revenue to cover some of those costs.
I've got a project and I want to put it on a platform. Tell me why I should put it on FundDat, and I'm from New Orleans. Why should I put it on FundDat? Why is it more likely to get funded on FundDat versus Kickstarter and Indiegogo?
So anybody who's done a crowdfunding campaign knows that it's not about the platform, right? You look around and you see who are my funders. People from New Orleans, people that you know, or people that you know that they know, right? So it's really your work that's doing it. So, but if you know that there's a site that can, more likely get you some media exposure, right? You know that the crowd that's on this crowdfunding platform is already having some type of connection with you. So like maybe not in other cities, but in New Orleans, if we both from New Orleans, that's a big deal. So you have more people who are just organically, not concerned, but care about your product a little more. And then also, like I said, projects that receive some type of media exposure, we have 1 billion media outlets, right? They are more likely to succeed. So if we can promise, we can do the numbers and promise that a certain % of our projects get some type of media exposure, that's just adding something, that's just another reason why you might consider it.
Have you done evaluation with the potential pool of funders? You could have a regional pool of projects.
Okay. So the way I considered that, what I thought about was basically I went on Kickstarter and Indiegogo and I added up all of the projects from New Orleans, right? All the projects just in New Orleans. So that's only part of our market. But over the last 3 years, there's been over $3 million raised for projects in New Orleans. And to me, when you combine that with the industry growing from $3 billion this year to $6 billion next year, right? And still not being a household name, that means that there are people who, that shows a commitment. If $3 million over the last 3 years, that to me shows a commitment from New Orleans to support these projects. Most projects are kind of locally funded. And so with that commitment, combined with that expansive industry, we have a huge untapped market, right? We have all of these musicians that want to have projects. It's Hollywood South. How long
Can I just clarify this? Sorry to interrupt. Just quickly a clarification. That math was the projects from
inside New Orleans,
not dollars from funding projects.
Right. But so what they say, so
I just want to clarify that.
right. And so most projects, I don't know the exact number, are funded locally. So if you're a project, and I'm not talking about the ones that go viral, that go millions of dollars, but if you're a project, if you're raising $5,000, which is what these platforms look for to consider a successful project, right? That was funded mostly through your local network, your social network, people that know of you or may have heard of it from your friends. So what I'm saying is, if we have already showed that $3 million over the next 3 years,
We got
right? So we're just saying that we've already bought time.